What is up everyone, Astronaut here, and welcome back to my modded Let's Play series. Since last episode, I've gotten a little more used to flying around in this new jetpack. It's been super useful, and it's actually allowed me to clear away the entire village over here with relative ease, and that's because I kind of want to do some things with this area. This is a huge flat open space, and it would be a shame to let it go to waste. Industrial Revolution and all that. You can't just have, like, rolling hills and grasslands. That's not allowed anymore. And then I also installed one other mod, actually two. I did install the Wandering Bags mod just because it looked cool, and I thought, why not? But then I also added Useless Swords, which has a bunch of definitely not useless swords. They add some pretty useful swords. So the Ender Claymore, for instance, which requires netherite, but we do actually have a few netherite scrap, or at least ancient debris. And we should get the Ender Claymore. I think sharpness 6 is pretty decent, all things considered. But now that we've got all that out of the way, I want to get into the stuff that I really want to do this episode. And that's actually related to all of this land that I've cleared out back here, because I want to start making a little bit of a town back here. So kind of a steampunk inspired factory type town where we're producing all sorts of things with the create mod. And in order to do that, we're going to need a power supply. This is kind of weird without me wearing a jetpack, but we get used to it. But yeah, I think we need to build a power station somewhere around here. I'm not sure where yet. I do want to do it somewhere up here though. I'm thinking back here, actually. I'm thinking this is a pretty nice flat area, and, it's like nice scenery and everything. But if we just flatten this out here, we should be able to build a good-sized power plant right about here. So I'm going to gather up some resources. I'm going to grab some stuff to make some steam engines, but also to make the actual building itself that's going to house them. Well, I've gathered myself a ton of resources, and so we should be about ready to build ourselves a power station. And with a little bit more detail work, I think we've got something to work with here. Obviously, we'll go back and add some more details in later, but I just wanted to get a little bit out the front just to make it not just this super bland looking wall. Inside here, I've actually got 5 sets of 9 blaze burners, so we can make 5 level 9 steam engines, which may cause a bit of lag, so I may or may not end up doing it or taking some out. We'll see what happens. Regardless, we should have more than enough power. So we are going to be powering these guys with lava, which means that we need to get lava in here. And currently our lava is over there. So we're going to need to build a train. But in order to do that, first we actually have to bring the lava from where the train's going to be. So I'm going to carve out some space underneath these guys. We can put a bunch of pipes and connect it all the way up to this side of the building here, because ideally we're going to be having the train coming up here and dropping off its lava right here. Now that we've got all this space cleared out, we can go ahead and add all the pipes in. Now, obviously, to get these guys to accept the input here, we actually have to give them all straws. So now they should all be connected up to the pipes, and we can go ahead and connect all that up using pumps. So if we fill in these spots here, we should be able to fill in the rest of these spots with the mechanical pumps, and that would allow lava to flow in through these pipes and reach every single one of these blaze burners. So let's bring this last pipe down under here to connect up to this spot here, which is probably where we're going to be unloading and loading the lava. Let's also go ahead and add some cogs and some shafts, which we can use to power these eventually. Now we can go ahead and build the actual steam engines themselves. Now we can go ahead and add all the actual steam engines on to here, and we should put 9 on each. That should be enough. Actually, I think starting with 6 should be totally fine. But then the last thing that we do need is to get water into all of these. So we can just add pipes to all of these, and then I was considering just dropping down here, putting a pump in each one of these, and then having a water source underneath. All right, now all the power is connected up, and we should be able to add an encased chain drive here, and that should be good enough to bring the power across over down here and then down to power all the pumps. All right, all the pumps are now connected up, so everything should be in place. And then we can either take the power out here or anywhere along here, or honestly anywhere along this line here. But everything should be all connected to be powered, and all that we need to do is actually import lava into this pipe right here. And obviously to bring lava in here, we're gonna need to build a train. And that train's going to run from here all the way down here, underneath here probably at some point, and then pop out down here where our current micro power plant and lava generator is. So we're probably going to need our train to actually come out around here, which means we're either going to have to build it back here or build it coming out of a tunnel here and then looping around on a little bridge. And I think I like that idea better. So I think something like this is probably going to be our best bet. And then we may have to, I'm not sure how I want to hook it up yet. It might just be entirely tunnel all the way under here and then just pop out like up behind the mountain there and then come out. And I'm not sure how it's going to go back in. Maybe I'll make a loop. I'm not sure yet. In any case, we need to start mining this out. All right, I've finished digging all the tunnels, and so we should be pretty much all connected up to our power plant now. Now, obviously, in order to get the lava over to our power plant, we need to make a bunch of train tracks, which I haven't made yet. And the recipe isn't too bad. It's just some sort of slab of some sort. You can do wood or you can do stone, and then apply 2 iron nuggets or 2 zinc nuggets and then press it. So I have a few deployers and a press and then a belt and some shafts, and I think we could just head over to our small power plant down there with the materials, and hopefully that should work fine. All right, so I got a temporary setup here for making train rails. So in this barrel here, we have a bunch of andesite slabs, and then we're actually gonna put some of these chutes on top of these guys, and then a double chest on top of here, which you can fill up with these iron nuggets. All right, so if we place this brass funnel on here, it should be ready to go. And we have our first train track. Perfect. So we just have to sit here and let this run for a little while. I might add a rotational speed controller just to speed it up a little bit. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be working. All right, that's looking a little bit better, a little bit faster. We can probably actually speed this up even more, all the way to max speed. And this is basically as fast as we can get this to go. Perfect. All right, I've cleaned up the tunnels just a little bit, so it'll be a little easier to build. And I think we're ready to start. So let's place our first train track down here, and we're just gonna go all the way through. So I've gone ahead and drilled our hole and placed our rails, and I think this is a good start to our tunnels. So we do have a bit of a bridge coming out here, so it comes through here, comes around here, and then goes back into the hole in there, and then connects all up everything and heads up to our power plant. But we do need to actually still build more of a tunnel because this is kind of bad looking. Actually looks pretty terrible, but luckily I have just the thing to fix that. Now I know this thing looks a little bit strange, but you gotta trust me on this one. It's actually gonna work really well. So we need to go down to here and assemble the train. And would you look at that? We've already started placing blocks, and these should all be in the right spot. All right, and it actually worked this time. So we should be ready to just get this thing going. So our tunnel bore machine did a pretty good job and ended up putting up all the walls inside of our tunnels. And so I ended up doing a little bit of decoration out here on the edge, but here we have all the way down, and then I have the entrances at all 4 locations. So there, I have one over here I just built. I haven't put any decorations really on this one yet. And then I have 2 other ones up here next to the actual power plant itself. So here's the path of the train. So it's going to come out right here, and then it's going to unload here and then go right down through here and go right back into the mountain here. And then again, like I said, all the interior in here is pretty much all done, and then it comes all the way down here. There's a few issues there at that corner, which I'll figure out later. But yeah, then it'll come down here, and then it will head all the way back and pick up more lava. But when it comes here, it's going to come out here and eventually end up right here ready to drop the lava off. So I think the next thing we need to do is actually build the train itself, and then we can decide how exactly we want to drop this lava off. And luckily I've got a full schematic for this train already set up. So I've got that here. I'm going to place it a slightly different location, bring it over there so it's actually sitting on the tracks, and then here should be a pretty decent place to assemble this thing. Actually, I think we're better off building the train right here. So I'm going to quickly grab out the schematic cannon and just place this down in here, and we should be ready to go. Alright, I ended up making a couple more changes to the train design, but just little things like the smokestack up here. But I think it's looking pretty good. And what we can do now is assemble this train. So we just need to pop down a train station real quick. And there we go. Then that should mean we are able to assemble the train and everything should be connected up. So here's our portable fluid interfaces. We're going to need to get those lined up here with the building so that we can import the lava into the power station itself. But we should be able to do that relatively easily. So we can just sit here, grab the controls, and let's just double check that everything's working fine. It is, and this is our first little train. Everything's gonna fit. It doesn't fit too great through here, but it'll be all right. All right, and we're reaching the end here, and this is where we're going to want to pause the train so that we can actually load up the lava here. So I'm not sure where exactly I want to put this train station. Let me sleep real quickly though. Like I was saying, I don't know exactly where I want to put the train station in order for this to be lined up where I want it to be. So I do want to get this bogey as close as I can to here. So maybe we'll bring it a little bit further up. That being said, this does look a lot better, even though you can kind of tell the train doesn't fit. But it does look a lot better when it's right here because everything lines up a lot more. Like this is actually over a block and it'll be a lot easier to get this. So I think this is where we're going to work with. I'm going to start carving out some space so we can connect up our portable fluid interfaces up to our lava tank up there. All right, so power is coming up here. So we can probably replace this one right here with a pump. And then we can take a look and hopefully the lava should be flowing. I don't know. Oh, it is actually flowing pretty far. We may just need to add another pump right here at the end. Now, hopefully lava is getting to the end. Perfect. So we can go out here and take a look and see whether or not perfect, everything's connected up, and it looks like our lava is in fact filling up. All right, we've just reached around 200 buckets of lava, so we should probably be okay for a little while if we were to just take this right now. And I do want to get it set up so that we can actually, get this running automatically. So in order to do that, we need to get the other stuff set up. So let's go over there and see what we can get set up over at our power plant. All right, and we made it. And I think once again, I am actually going to move this train station just a little bit so we can get this actually lined up perfectly with our portable fluid interfaces that we're going to have on the factory itself here. All right, so all four of those are in a good position here. So we should be able to just, at this point, connect all of these up with pipes, and hopefully everything should work as I'm expecting it to. All right, then we can bring in the pipes here, and then I guess just connect them over here, and then bring them down to this point here. Something like that. Let's also put a pump here and connect it up to the power so that once we got this place operational, the pump is self-sustaining. Actually, I am now realizing we probably want this going into a tank first just to get a buffer, because otherwise we have no buffer and we just have to assume that it's all going to come on time, that the lava train is never going to be late. So I think I'm going to actually put a tank here in the wall. I think that might look decent enough. Then we can output directly from here right into down there, which means that we can add a cog there, and a shaft there connects everything up. That looks perfect. All right, so we've got the structure put in here now for the unloading of the lava. So if you look here, we basically just have the pipes going up here, pumps pumping everything in, and it pumps into this tank here. Then on the inside, it goes right from the tank down here and distributes to each of the blaze burners, thus powering all 5 steam engines. Now, in order for this to run, we actually have to provide power to this so we can actually get the power started up in the first place. So once again, I've brought our temporary power supply, and we can just plop that down here. And there we go. We've got ourselves a bit of stress going. All right, so the temporary power supply is hooked up, and we can probably get this going. I don't know how fast we'll be able to get this spinning. Oh, we can actually get it pretty fast. The final step is to drop down here and connect up this power so that we've got all the pumps running. All right, all of these should now be connected up, and we should have, these are all starting up, so that's perfect. So everything appears to be working relatively well. I've got all the steam engines in, and they're all running. Unfortunately, I am having a little bit of an issue with my FPS. I'm around 24, I think, or 27 right now. FPS. With shaders off, it's like 80, but I like playing with shaders, so we're gonna have to figure something out. But currently, yeah, not all of these are running at level 9. We have 2 that aren't, but overall, we're still getting 649,000 stress units. So honestly, I can probably remove 2 of these, and that might help a little bit with our lag situation. And we'd still be totally fine in terms of power. I think we should probably be able to make, I mean, if we have 3 level 9, I mean, they're about 150 each, so we'll still have 450,000 stress units, which should be enough to power a couple farms. And yeah, like, I think we should be able to produce pretty much everything we need with that amount of power. And then additionally, look, we've got our lava filling up. We have 330 buckets of lava here. And the train is not yet running on a schedule. I just drove it back and forth and brought the lava in here. It always leaves exactly 1 millibucket of lava. I'm not sure why. But the next thing we have to do is actually get this so this is automatically running and automatically bringing lava and more fuel over to our power station. And in order to do that, we're going to need to make ourselves a train schedule, and then we're only going to need one of these. All right, so our train schedule should be all put together now, and we can just give this to our blaze burner. And would you look at that? Off it goes. Make sure this goes the right direction. It should keep going. Should see it come by. That's so cool. Look at that. So that's perfect, because that means that we basically just have a sustainable source of power, and we can take this and route it down wherever we need to, and honestly send it anywhere around this whole area. And now that I've removed the entire village, I think we can get started on making our own village. And I kind of want to build something like around here, and then maybe have like an industrial side here, town side over here, maybe some farms over there. And then just get a bunch of things automated and a bunch of really cool looking stuff. But yeah, I really think this looks amazing. We got our power plant, and we got the train tunnels coming out. Oh, and the train is coming out right here. Perfect timing, and it should stop and start unloading the lava. That's great. All right. But yeah, I'm super excited about how this turned out. I think this is really great, and it's going to be a great start to the next phase of this world. But of course, before we go, we have the comment of the day we have to get to. And the comment of the day from last episode is from James Holdbrooks. He says, I love your vids. So do I. I'm quite fond of them myself. And hopefully everyone else watching this is too. That being said, if you did enjoy the video, do make sure to like the video. It does really help out, and subscribe to the channel if you are not already. But yeah, with that, I will see you in the next video. Have a good day, everyone, and goodbye.